I think that's the tone I got, but like where was he going? Like he actually walked into like the woods, like the tree. Yeah, it's like good night, dude.
I don't know. That's the kind of mystery I admire. I want to be that person. I try to always Irish goodbye, but I never do it that mysteriously. Or...
In a Sasquatchy kind of way.
Yeah.
Into the woods.
Yeah.
All right, how are we kicking this off, man?
All right, I'm going to jump into this. So we're good to go?
We're good to go?
All right, here we go. All right, wow. We are here. Welcome, everyone, to the inaugural launch of the Film Folklore Podcast. In the tradition of our film world, our last names are our departments. So with that said, I am Jed Props. I am joined by Joe AD.
Hello.
Zoe Props.
Hello.
No relation. Chris AD.
Hello.
No relation to Joe. And our wonderful producer, Justin Sound.
Hello.
All right, so we're going to get into this, just kind of jumping in with talking radio channels. Chris or Joe, do any of you want to go to, like, what is the typical layout for our radio channels?
Channel 1 is the ADs and production. Channel 2 is private chat. What's after that?
That never
props?
No, it's not very private, actually.
It's not very private, especially when the ADs...
Transpo.
Mm-hmm.
4 is also private chat. That's never private, but more private than Channel 2.
More private.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys take 5 sometimes.
On bigger shows, Props gets 4 or 5.
Which is confusing when you guys take 4.
Yes.
Because then we go to our private chat.
Yes. And then
you guys are like, we're listening to you.
This is the Props channel. You're on the Props channel.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
6 is camera.
Mm-hmm.
Nerds.
Yep.
7 is electric.
Mm-hmm.
8 is grip.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other guys, nobody really... actually, special effects uses 14.
12 or 14,
Yeah.
I think. Something up there. They'll pick something.
Yeah.
And then 16 is like the most private, right? Sometimes.
But sometimes...
You have the secret, you have the go to the moon.
Yeah.
Or something.
Top floor.
Penthouse suite.
But sometimes that doesn't work.
Yes. Yes, you learn the code, then everybody goes to that one. Yeah. When the first and second AD go all the way up.
It's true.
Now, with that said, when y'all are shushing everyone and you're using Channel 1, how does it work? Because I've always wanted to know this answer. For all of the people not on Channel 1, how do y'all typically deal with that?
I think we assume that our staff is listening to the shh, and so that they will do that in their respective lockups. And so that's how it's like conveyed to the entire crew. In theory.
Yeah. There was a pilot I did where the first AD every single day, every single shot for the whole run of the show on Channel 1 would go shh, 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 shh. Every time. 1 long, 3 short. And after the first day, we were losing our minds. So you can imagine how, like, day 20, whatever.
Just the volume of that throughout the day. Oh, my God.
Yes. And like a lot of first ADs, when you hear, like, clearly like a C-stand fall or something like that, they're like, I thought I said quiet on Channel 1. And it's like, that was not anyone on Channel 1.
The rest of the world not listening to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Zoe, have you gotten to experience Props off 1 yet?
No. I had the option to on my last show, and I decided not to do a Channel 4, Channel 5. I would be on Channel 1 anyway.
To know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, that's my thing. I imagine that if there is a Props channel, there probably is still someone staying on 1, correct? To kind of see what's going on and flipping back and forth. So I decided not to.
You fell on that sword.
Person.
Yeah. I was like, no, I don't want to. I'm going to stay on Channel 1 anyway. There's only the 2 of us. 4 can be the channel we automatically switch to instead of 2 to not step on PAs, ADs, whatever. But no, never.
Wouldn't you feel kind of lost? I don't know. Don't you guys feel lost without us? I mean,
kind of. Not really. It depends. We usually don't get the staffing to be off channel. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because we have to dedicate marry a person to set basically who never leaves, not even for the bathroom. Just put on like a bag on your ankle or something, and then they have to stay there and relay everything off channel to us.
Yes.
And so usually we don't have the luxury of that many people to even offer that option.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like 1923 was a really, really big props team. And I don't even know what channel they were on because it was such a big team. I didn't need to be on.
Channel Flurb.
Yeah, I didn't need to be on walkie. I was just kind of doing the one thing.
How was that? 1923? That's one of the Yellowstone things?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Huge props team. So many armorers. Again, I went there to do one big giant war scene flashback situation. Cool. I was mostly offset. I was on set for 2 days.
Yeah.
That's it. I didn't even stay on set either. I went to set for like a minute to give something, but mostly it was all background stuff, propping up background, blah, blah, blah.
ATV driving or anything fun like that?
I did, yeah. I went to set because I was bored not being on set and wanted to get on the ATV and go over a mountain and do the thing.
Because set is beautiful.
Get lost?
No matter where you're 360.
Did I what?
Like, oh no, I got lost? Like you took the scenic route?
No, someone took me.
Oh.
No one's going to trust some additional from out of town that no one knows that is here on set for 1 day to go take their props.
Some of the hog.
That's fair.
Due northwest.
No, I got on the back,
Mm-hmm.
On
little girl and all that.
On Roots, the newer Roots, not the 70s one, but they ran out of walkies, and we were out in a field outfitting.
Ran out of people.
And people. But we were outfitting all the soldiers for, I believe we were in Revolutionary wartime for that. And the rest of the prop department was getting so mad at us because we were out of cell phone range in the middle of nowhere and we were out of walkies. And so they couldn't get any messages to us. But, that's beyond our control. So we're basically like, get everybody, 200, 300 background outfitted and ready and everything. And then we're done and we're going, what next? Well, I guess they'll call us, not realizing that they can't call us or anything. And so finally we get kind of bored and paranoid. And so we just independently go back towards where everything is. And then we're getting yelled at for, where have you guys been? Why have you, like, we didn't have a way to, I don't know. Yeah. Look, they're all there. Everything's fine. Yeah. Everyone's got their canteen and their bayonet. It's fine. Whatever.
No one's been stabbed.
Yeah, no one's been stabbed. But yeah, anyway, moving us along. So what are we doing here? What is the point of this podcast that we're going to go for? We want to put a spotlight behind the camera and kind of put a little celebration for the hard work and insanity that makes the entertainment world churn. We want to give a voice to the worker, people behind the camera, so to speak, and kind of educate the public on how we work, how we all got in. If you might be interested, how could you get in? And we've been called marching ants before. So what do we do as marching ants? All of that. Anyone want to add anything to that?
How do you get into this business?
That is a great question.
Like that's the question people outside of the business, even inside the business, ask themselves sometimes, I feel like.
I think
how did this happen?
That is a great segue
to me. How did I get here?
Would you like to go first and tell us a little bit about how you got in, how you grew up, any interest in film or anything like that?
Yeah, big interest in film. And I was lucky enough after film school to have a couple friends come out to New Orleans before I ever got here. And they're like, we're working like crazy. Like after Katrina, there was tons of work. So I had the good fortune of following in their footsteps, hanging on their coattails, and kind of just chanced in, picked up their scraps, and stuck with the PA track.
And how many days as a PA do you need to get into the DGA?
600.
600.
600 viable days. I think I turned in 700 just to be safe. Took 10 seasons of X-Files of printing call sheets and PRs and pay stubs to get that book together.
10 seasons, like watching.
Like in the background, press play on season 1, started printing. Because I don't know about you, but I didn't even start to I did it so bad.
What were you watching? What were the 10 seasons on?
X-Files.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know why X-Files, but But I collected nothing, had nothing prepared, just started printing all that and like having to dig all that up. And it was crazy.
Yeah.
Sucked.
Yeah.
Sucked.
I remember collecting call sheets every day, and I thought that I was going to hand those in.
Uh-huh.
And then
Wait,
when
you collected as you went along?
every single day I would go home with a call sheet because I thought that it was just going to be that easy.
Oh, you did it. Well, you were way more pertinent than me.
Well, the thing is like I bought a file cabinet, and like I thought that I was going to turn those sheets in. Well, those have notes written on them, random phone numbers, coffee stains, like food on them. They're half destroyed because it's summertime and you have it in your pocket and it's just destroyed from being soaking wet.
Right.
So then I quickly realized that
Your
was
back
not
pocket
that was
folder.
not going to be what I was turning in, and then I had to do all of that stuff. Where I
Oh.
was digging through the inbox for all of the things.
Oh, I thought you were like at Wrap every day, like taking a nice clean one
No,
off the shelf and like,
no.
nope.
That would have been smart.
It would
was-
have been
it was-
smart, Zoe. It would have been smart.
Yeah.
But the problem with like all of it is that when I got to it, I mean, they're all legal sized pieces of paper.
Mm-hmm.
When I turned in my book, it was not the legal size because it's a regular standard binder. They don't have
Binder.
binders that are legal size.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
like,
For those who
shrunk
don't
them.
know, this book is giant binders of all these days that you turn into the DGA, and then they go through like leaf by leaf, painstakingly. They have teams of people that do this.
What
I
is
thought it
that?
was just two women who goes through the. I really
If it is.
I really thought that it's only like these two broads who do this, and it's not like this big whole team.
This
It's
is
like,
Mysterious Man in the High Castle
Doris
stuff a little
and
bit though.
Zoe.
Oh wait, did someone lie to me? I really thought that it was just
It's-
like a couple of people that do it, and that's why it takes so long for it to come back.
I think it's
Like,
it's different all the time, and I got the impression it was like a group of people, like a small group of people, like a team, but that it's oscillating, maybe baby team. I don't know.
So it is like it's a group of auditors that they're not connected with the DGA because I think that they started doing that and they're like, this
Oh,
shit
that's right.
sucks, and like they didn't want to do it.
That's right.
So they have auditors do it. But I really
Yeah.
like the idea that it's actually like Maud and Claire going through it and being like, did you see this one?
Down in the basement.
Yeah.
In my head, that's exactly what it was. And now that I think of it, I'm like, maybe someone was just yanking my chain, but I was like, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense to me.
It was murky to me because
Ladies in an apartment, bunch of cats, stacked files all over the place. I had a real vision.
I imagine
dusty
the,
books and all. Yeah.
Yeah.
the people you always see keeping the signature books at the voting booths.
Yes.
Just the random people. They're always at those tables. That's kind of what I envision when you're
it's
talking
what
about
they
the two
do
ladies.
for the rest of the year. They
Yeah.
just check your book for the DGA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good money.
Brutal.
Yeah. And I was like, that sounds like a cool job. Me and my best friend.
Just leafing through
Checking.
Chris's call sheets.
Yeah. Dirty, filthy
This one's got a coffee
stain.
stain. Is this back pocket butt sweat?
That's
This
a
one else?
booger. We're throwing this
That's a
one out.
booger.
Can't have that.
Yeah,
No, that counts as a day.
that's out.
We're giving you a
Rip.
free week. It's bold.
About 600.
Boogers.
Rip, 599.
There's several
Smallest-
flattened mosquitoes on it.
Yeah.
It was all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it actually was sort of a reference of how far I've gotten, because I mean, there was a lot of people that had no idea. It was just sort of like, I have no idea how many days I have. I think I have like 400, and then all of a sudden they actually do a count when they were off of work, and it's like, I have
Yeah.
1,000 days. I could have turned in my book.
Or
400
worse,
days ago.
you're like, I'm at 600. I'm ready to do this. And you're like, no, you're like 350. You've just been rough estimating.
Yeah.
Hopeful estimates or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an exaggeration, but you're like, oh, okay, I gotta work a whole nother show
Yeah.
before I finish this book, and that means 2-3 more months of just being a PA.
Yeah.
Which noble job, good pursuit.
I
Anybody out
mean,
there that enjoys being a PA.
yeah,
Love
I
your PAs.
knew what the process was as a PA. My very first day, my partner's in AD. I started saving call sheets the moment I started. I had
Mhm.
a file, and just every day, boom, boom, boom. That's what I did. So
Yeah.
if I wanted to take that route,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to do what
When
you
did
guys.
you when did you
about.
veer off?
Yep.
Did you do how long did you do it for?
PAing?
Yeah. So I think I met
Over a
PAing when
year
I-
and a half. I mean, I'm relatively green
Mhm.
film industry. Like I started right when film came back, pandemic. Quit my long retail job. Kind of wasn't doing anything. And yeah, I told Ross, like, hey, if they need PAs or anything, let me know. I'm not doing anything. I don't want to go back to food and bev retail, and bada bing.
Also noble professions.
Also, yes. Thank you, food and retail.
Yeah, but over it.
So
you
much.
know.
Rear view mirror.
But I
Commission
saw-
and
I-
tip-based
yeah.
jobs are great.
Saw Ross go through the AD process, and I was like, oh, that looks dumb.
Partner
And you
with
look
Ross.
very disorganized and bad at it. I don't want to.
Yeah.
So that looks terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just go ahead and squirrel these little things away in a cute little file.
Mhm.
I think I was about halfway to my day. I worked a lot. Back to back.
Yep.
TV helps speed that up, I guess, right?
It does.
Yeah, I started when it was pretty busy.
Well,
I worked
post pandemic, we were. I mean,
rocking and rolling, man.
that was awesome.
That's how I got in. Was just
Gee.
like, I was just any old idiot. You know what I mean? Like, sure.
Which
Fine.
maybe that's the answer to
Bring
the
her
question.
in.
How we get into the film business is you're just any old idiot and you get scooped up at the right time and place. Like you just stick with it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I will say it helped to be an adult. I wasn't some 20, 21-year-old PA that had no just even life experience. Been manager before. I had jobs. I knew how to be a working kind of guy.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So I felt like that kind of helped just me in general. I wasn't some like, I don't know what the thing is. I knew what I was.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, frankly, my first week, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Let's
just
do
come
this
on.
thing.
What's this? This is easy.
Yeah.
Which is a
Nickel Fritz,
when we started, it was like 15, 16 years ago.
It was a long time ago. It was a different deal. Yeah. But I mean,
I was just a young shithead.
Yeah, that's
I was
what I'm
not
saying.
what you're describing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear people have these PA stories of just being kind of it's like, oh, so you're bad at your job, but I'm also like, oh yeah, if you talk about what I was doing when I was 21, 22, yeah, you don't care, man.
You don't.
And not that you
care.
don't, but you also don't.
Yeah.
You're not
You
gonna
still have that mentality of like you wake up in the morning, and go, I'll just be late for work today. I'll just be late.
exactly.
Which
You're gonna
that couldn't
have
like just saying that has a stress response in my body right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
No
you
way.
put different priorities first, or you probably have a story of doing something bad by a dumpster, whatever. That's something that you wouldn't do when you're
Yeah.
30,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
at work.
well, you just do those things less
yeah,
when you're 30.
yeah,
Although when you're in your early 20s, you're also
more of a dreamer.
like you're still
Yeah.
you still have like ideological, I guess. I don't know. By the time I was 30, I think I was pretty jaded, but I came in early, so.
Wait, you're saying in your 20s you're just dreaming a little bit more?
Well, I think I was about 21 when I got in. And so by the time I was 30, I had a good amount of apathy built up from being in the industry. And props, by the way, is a wonderful department to go to if you're an apathetic person. I highly recommend that for anyone
Yeah,
out
baby.
Y'all tempted me throughout the PA career a lot. Props was one
Yeah.
of those like, join us. I was like,
Yeah.
there. We like
I want you so
sarcasm.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always got along well with everybody in the props department.
Yes.
I was toyed with as well.
Yeah.
Goofsters, just a bunch of goofsters.
Bunch of goofballs.
Long
Yeah.
beckoning finger of props.
We got
Yeah.
you, prop. We got you,
out the
props.
back of
right
your
here.
truck every day.
Yeah, it's a prop finger.
Yeah.
It's a mechanical
It is. It's
prop
the
finger.
big foam finger.
We're number one.
Yeah.
We're number one.
Where's props? It's the guy with the rubber chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's just holding it for no reason.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, when you became a PA and you were going up the PA ladder,
Yeah.
did you already think like I'm going to stick with this and I want to be an AD, or kind of like what you were just saying, you had people luring you, enticing you to other departments?
Yeah. I was kind of natural at it, like yelling at people. I guess was kind of, but I kind of liked, like I kind of like working with everybody, kind of thing. And I think being PA and seeing how ADs were able to kind of manage everything and kind of have their fingers in every pie, kind of deal. That so while it was hard to do that, seeing that was like, well, that's exciting. The money's really good when you get there. It's definitely a change. So I think that kept me going. I know we talked about that for years and lockups and quiet places on set, but like, I don't know. I think that was like, that was really cool. And it's cool to be close to the action. It's cool to be close to the director. It's cool to now ADing. It's like, it's neat to take the creative world and just help support that really, really closely is I think is exciting.
Right on.
Yeah.
And this will ultimately be a question for Chris as well. When you first crossed the line and you got to do your first second job, probably a non-union show, I'm guessing, but maybe not.
I remember what my first one was.
But was it intimidating? Was it fun? Was it easy? Was it hard?
It was not fun. It was very.
Mine was fun. No, mine was underground, and I kind of, but I was able to. I was additional second, so I was able to keep doing kind of what I'd already.
Oh, you came in late on that too, didn't you?
I came in late, so I got to come. You know, when you're additional second, you're really kind of just helping handle the background, working with you guys to get. You know, underground was muskets and all that kind of stuff, and so
I'm gonna have to steer clear of that one. I have very little positive things to say about that experience.
Well, I got to be the hero because I got to come in with the background and kind of do that, and so people got to not think about that. So they're like, oh, this guy's great, and it's really you're just doing what you've. It's not like I was great. It's just I'd been setting background for like 3-4 years, so that was smooth. I mean, there were harder jobs after that, but I don't. What was your first one?
So my first one was on a very, very big movie, and the first AD was he was a sadist. He was a very cruel person. And what happened is that the second and the second quit in the first like 2 weeks. I was an additional second, and then I got bumped up to second, and then I got bumped down to second.
Immediately demoted.
Well, it was never really that it was like that I was actually demoted. It was some sort of backroom deal, and the person who became a second really screwed me over. But I was on set on this giant.
Nobody can see my eyes narrowing and trying to figure out who you're talking about.
I'll tell you later. But so I'm on this giant movie, and the first AD. And like you're supposed to be the right-hand man of the first AD. When you're the second, you're on set with him, and you're just kind of implementing his will. He would spend most of the day just making me miserable and being a dick, because that's who this guy was. That was part of what he thought the job was. This is 2016, so I think things are different now. But like, there's a lot of the old school guys that were. They thought that the only way to really properly do your job is if you're being cruel and mean and yelling at people.
Yeah.
So he was definitely one of those guys. So it was not cool.
Yeah.
It was not like, oh, let's just, you can learn on this one. And I certainly wasn't the hero. I was sort of the fall guy for him, at least on set. And there were lots of problems on this massive movie. Yeah. It was not fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that was your first time.
That was my first time.
No longer PAing, second.
Yes.
Making the big money.
Making
AD.
the big bucks, the whole deal. Yeah. That was the first time.
The abuse became more acute and direct. And right to the side of your face.
Yes. And I mean, like, I should have quit that job for a lot of reasons, but it was the first time that I had gotten that money, and it was literally changing my life. So
quitting's hard. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
People talk, and then you can be justified, but even if you're treated terribly, even if HR on your, all those things, people talk, people assume. It's hard. I can't.
What's an HR?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
episode like 6 or 7. Yeah. We'll get to that.
Yeah. I feel like the HR department is a newer concept in our industry.
Yeah.
That I I knew
Capital
what,
N.
right. I knew what it was, but I did not know of it in the film industry until maybe 10-ish years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last gig, I don't think we had like it wasn't called HR, it was like called something else.
Oh, the last gig didn't
Like something-
have an HR, which was interesting.
Some name that was like, what does that mean? What do you mean? But
Yeah.
it is HR. It was HR. But a secret
the friendship squad.
yeah,
It's the,
something like that.
Pretending to be protecting the worker, but we're protecting the investment and interest, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should probably explain what a first, second, why it's not a third. Should probably take a minute to explain that. And then also we should take a minute to explain the rate disparity from the PA world until you get into the DGA.
I don't know
So-
why no third. I've watched credits before where it does say third AD though.
Not
I will
not
say,
United
not
States.
like, but not in
Yeah.
the United States. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
usually the UK.
That's it.
sure, that makes sense. Why? But yeah, go ahead.
There,
There was
Probably
a-
use
the
the
day-
metric system too.
the
those
day that
idiots.
they
Yeah.
decided to make it all up,
Right.
they got a guy that couldn't count. And they said,
it you?
hey, pal, can you count to 3? And he goes, 1, 2,
Yeah.
2, number 2.
Yeah.
And then that was
Or
how.
it's just American ego
Yeah.
where it's like, I am not going to be number 3. I'm going to be the other number 2.
I mean,
So I am
Oh.
the second.
yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
you people.
That's actually the smartest explanation, and I believe that
You
that
could
is
be-
absolutely it.
I think that's that at least just pinning it to America because I think or is Canada second? I can't remember if it is.
I don't know, but I mean, I know the UK, it's the third, which is how it should
I mean,
be.
that makes sense. America
But-
number 1, Canada number 2,
Yeah.
and UK the third.
But
Ah.
I think it was also just sort of like it was an arbitrary kind of bullshit classification thing where it's just sort of like there's the first AD and then everybody else is a second AD. If you're an AD, you're a second AD.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're the second
Yeah.
and you're the additional second.
Yeah.
And somehow additional second is lower than second, even though that doesn't really make much sense.
You and I are probably talking completely out of our asses about this too, and we'll get emails. Who knows?
I mean, but it really it's
the show.
Yeah.
the way that it was described to me is that like if there's the first AD and then everybody else is a second AD,
Uh-huh.
even though there's like 4 of you, you're all second ADs,
It's all second ideas.
which is weird.
Okay, so it's just like a pay grade thing, right? First AD, second AD, maybe
there's
base
differences
camp
between-
AD, which is a second, but base camp AD
additional
is also considered an additional.
Yeah.
There's
additional
paid
second, yeah.
differences between all of those.
Yeah.
Can you be an additional second AD or second?
You
They're thinking about it.
No,
Thinking about it.
in
it's-
spirit.
it's
On
second-
paper, you can't. It's just additional
All right,
second.
all right.
But yeah, when we get there, it's days where it's like you and me and 3 others, so you can be like, you're the additional, and you're the additional.
Yeah.
You're 2A and you're 2-1 because we want everyone to feel equal here. So
Yes, exactly. Yeah. No.
Oh, well, I will say the show that I'm not working on because strike whatever. The UPM didn't want there to be so many people with assistant prop master in their title. So we have our prop master,
Okay.
our assistant prop master that's offset, and then we have our assistant prop master on set. But because she was like, that's too many prop mastery titles, that the on-set assistant prop master is not called the assistant prop master, but the key props person,
Uh-huh.
because somebody
the
just
most
didn't like
unnecessary change.
no joke, just why it's really not confusing. There's one offset, one onset, but this person was like, that's confusing.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I didn't like that there was basically prop master in that many people's titles, which I just think is funny.
What budgetary something?
Has nothing to
Top
do
sheet, something?
with anything.
This is me, right? Yes. Okay. How's this? That good? There we go. Okay. Whenever I'm ready. Okay. Here we go. Hey everybody, it's Joe. I wanted to tell you about an awesome deal from SoundHard. Whether you are a film or television professional, a podcaster, content creator, musician, studio engineer, or even just a guy like me that doesn't know where to begin, SoundHard offers a wide range of equipment to handle any size production or budget with expert advice available from an experienced team that works in the field. And now SoundHard is offering new customers 25% off your first rental. Just enter promo code FILMFOLK25, that's FILMFOLK 25, no spaces. At checkout, terms apply. Go to soundhard.com for details.
they muddied our titles in the prop department on the scale rates and everything. So like there's a title prop person, and then the title prop assistant should in fact be the same person, but instead someone decided that prop assistant is too close to assistant prop master, and so therefore we need to make more differentiating. And so I just learned this randomly one day on a show that they're like, are you the assistant prop master or the prop person? I'm like, what's a prop person? We're all prop people.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, the prop person is the third. I'm like, no, the third is the prop assistant. And they're like, no, it's not. And then I'm like, you're in this world discovery where you're both talking about the same thing, but you don't know what each other has,
Oh, I mean, who cares?
Yeah, who
what
cares?
the title
Exactly.
is? Because I know some people are weird about prop assistant. They think it sounds maybe even a little like demeaning, I guess. I don't
I mean, it's
care. I just say
neutral.
props. I'm just props.
Yeah.
I don't care. I might say props person to a non-film worker because it sounds my mom thought that I was just like an assistant to some like producer or something. She didn't understand. So I was like, okay, because she hears assistant, she thinks that I'm just like assisting one guy or one
hand
person.
Jerry
So I was
Bruckheimer
like,
his
okay.
coffee, and that is a prop.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will say props person or props worker, you
Sure.
know, but no, in the biz, prop assistant or just props.
We are the only department that has master in the title. That's a fun thing we get to.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And because we are
right.
props, we get to, when I get to be prop master, I have a scepter and a crown, and I go to every meeting with that.
Yeah.
And when people are confused and they start saying something, I hand them the scepter and say, now you may talk. It goes well. Everyone seems to like it a lot.
Yeah. Red cape
Especially-
with the
Useful
fur and all
for
that. Yeah.
production meetings
Nice.
too. As the AD, you could just have the scepter.
Mhm.
Only
Yeah.
those with the scepter may speak, and
Production designers love it when you shush them, especially in a meeting.
Do you have a cape as well? Like a
If costumes is willing, and I can get that from costumes, you don't want to do a craft violation with that, so you want to make sure the right department.
Jed has a collection of capes. No.
Capes are cool, man.
Jed capes. Yeah.
Yeah,
There was a kid in film school that wore a cape. We
Caping's
saw him,
cool,
cape
man.
Guy.
Yeah.
Wait, really? He really did.
No, he did. Yeah,
Proper cape.
And we'd all be going into campus, like flooding in for class, and he would do the what's
Like
the
the-
cape
the Batman,
flourish?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the
And he
classic.
was
I'm
dead-
a little chilly, Dracula. all
Yes,
the
and he
things,
was
yeah.
always, on his own,
And-
headphones in.
and this
Yep.
is
Head-
college.
This is college.
All right.
Yeah.
No one asks questions. Yeah.
right.
There's
And-
always going to be Cape Kid, though, in school,
Yeah.
right? Or someone
Someone's gotta
equivalent
be
to.
Cape- Yes.
And that man is now a state senator.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
He's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
That's right. I know we weren't supposed to name
Womp,
names, but
womp.
too bad.
I knew I
We
recognized.
got you, Chris.
That's the
Old
guy.
Capey Chris. Making Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Not about Oppenheimer, but about a
Capenheimer.
political hit job. Yeah.
I met
It was a Caperheimer.
Yeah.
I met Christopher Nolan's first AD, and we were on this terrible movie called Trespass, this Nicolas Cage, Nicole Kidman movie, and we were about to go on hiatus, and we were just sitting around with nothing to do. And this first AD tells a story about his first rap party experience, and he had done this movie at the bar. It was crowded. He's waiting to get into the bar, and they had little people that had been in the show, and there was a little person in front of him at the bar, and he's just this 20-something-year-old PA. This is probably like the early 70s at this point,
Yeah.
and he's just trying to get into the bar for his free drink, and this little person turns around and says, "Out of my way, kid. I was one of the flying monkeys in Wizard of Oz."
Stop it.
And
Hell yeah.
the whole
my
room
God.
the whole room was floored when he said that.
I like this guy.
I know.
He was dead
He was
serious.
a really cool guy. He had all kinds of great stories, but just the idea of that overlap of time,
Yeah.
that there's someone alive from the Wizard of Oz in general
Yeah.
that is at a rap party now in like the 70s. I mean, just insanity.
is
And that
amazing.
little person was
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan's father, who also, well, he didn't wear a cape.
Yeah.
Too long.
It was pre-cape.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pre-cape.
Wait, didn't the flying monkeys wear capes?
They did.
Didn't they?
Wait.
Is that right?
Did they?
No, they may not have.
Sure, why not?
Stand by.
So getting us back to the wonderful world of PA to AD, can y'all speak a little bit to the income disparity that
That was a laugh.
So
It's must be choking.
it's so absurd that like, and I actually don't even really.
The flying monkeys kind of wear capes. Sorry. Yes. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Research concluded.
I guarantee you that the flying monkeys got paid a lot more money than all PAs do. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. 70s, but whatever.
Up for debate.
yeah, we got to call Christopher Nolan's dad, find out. But I mean, like, I never really, like, I sometimes would sort of go over how many hours I had worked and then whether or not that was actually legal in terms of minimum wage.
Yeah.
And I never really followed
Always about
through
depression.
because sometimes I think it was below what minimum wage was. But I mean, like, essentially
And forget minimum wage, just the amount of exhaustion that's coursing through your body
yeah,
and the number
times
of hours.
times
the
hatred,
dollars
times sleep deprivation
is like,
equals not a lot of money. But I mean, like, it really was like kind of the standard rate really when I was a PA was $150 for 12, which means you get paid $150 for 12 hours and you would get overtime after that. But after taxes, it really came out to be about $100 a day for sometimes up to, 17, 18 hour day.
mm-hmm.
I remember my first show that I was staff, the UPM, who obviously will not be named, he paid us on a background voucher. Background voucher back then, this is 2011, 2010.
Yeah, I was like, what's the date here? And he was,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was $88.50 or $85.50 for 12.
I also faced this same.
And so and that would come out to being around like $70 a day, and it would take 1 month to get paid. So
Or more
yeah,
if it wasn't going well in accounting.
yes. And so we would get like,
You'd
one
get them in
month.
this like bird shot, buckshot, like
Exactly.
4 or 5. You need the 25-year-old, and then you'd get like 1, and then 2, and then
The way that it worked out, so I mean, we would almost get a month's worth, a month after like a month late.
yeah.
And so you would get up to like, 20 to 30 checks really at like one time, but it was just enough to pay the bills so that then you would have to wait and there was no money coming in.
And your overdraft fees.
well, my question, you're saying, 20 or 30 checks. You mean you weren't on these shows for 20 or 30 weeks. These background vouchers are for just one singular day.
Yes.
So you're getting multiple checks just for one day of work.
Exactly.
Granted, if it was you worked Monday through Friday,
Yes.
that's the idea, because background workers they're not staff. So
It was
they're not
randomly-
always working every day. So you're
Yes.
getting just checks for
Yes.
one singular day.
Sometimes
for
it'd be- it would be
basically
for-
less than
It'd be
$7
like
an
4 or 5
hour.
days sometimes
Uh.
it'd be like a week or so. Like there was no pattern. At least the 1 or 2 times that I was in that scenario, there was no pattern to it at all.
Chris
man,
had pulled a Happy Gilmore. He had gotten the oversized novelty checks.
I
Yeah.
request
Yeah.
those every time. So that was why I was late. Is because
You guys
they have
don't?
to
I
get
get
the
that.
special check. Yeah, every
that's
time.
what I get. Yeah.
It's all not true.
Yeah.
But like back to what it is. I mean, like as a PA, it's like essentially like $100 a day, or at least it was, and it's really not that much better now. And then when you make that jump to AD, when you go from being a PA to a
Sorry.
second, I mean, it truly is life changing. It's life changing because it's just so much more money
And benefits.
and all of these things. And I mean,
The health insurance is senators have it.
yeah, and it's
yeah, right. You guys have good
yes,
health insurance.
When
You
we
do.
go to the doctor,
Ours is
our
okay.
doctors are like, oh,
yeah.
like I've had audible like, oh, very good. Okay, so we can get you going on that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Oh
Like,
man, I want that.
Yeah,
It's-
it is good. Of course, you do have to accrue like a certain dollar amount to actually qualify for the health insurance.
Mm.
It's
Per
not
year.
just a given per year and all of these things. But I did. I mean, like this was a long time ago, but it's basically like 6 or 7 times more as a second
Yes.
than being a PA, and it really does happen overnight.
Yes.
Essentially to do the same job as
It-
you kind of get better and you become a key set, PA, and you've done that for a number of years. Like you really, it's essentially like you're an unpaid AD, and the AD department kind of trusts you to do those things. And then, but you're just, you're getting $100 a day, and then overnight it's like 6 or 7 times that.
it is life changing.
It is.
Like you're just right on the bottom of everything bill pay wise, and then it's like, oh, this is why I stuck with it. Which going back to that, it's like you get to day like 300, and it's years of work, and you're like, now I can't go back. Like I couldn't like. I know you pretty far too, but like if you're not totally driven by also the excitement of the job and you want the stress levels of that stuff, like, you can't go back. And it's just exciting when you get to that point. It's like, oh my gosh, this is what we play for. Like, great. That first check is the taxes taken out are more than your PA checks.
Yes,
That was
I would have more taken out
Woof.
in taxes than I would actually make in accrue as a PA.
that was the thing for me was everything about being a set PA taught me that I did not want to be a set PA or an AD.
Yeah.
And so I was looking for every opportunity to get out of that position. But you also want to get your foot in the door, and you're also,
Truly.
these things. So, and when I started, it was even worse. It was $90 for 12, and that was about 2001. And we were on Runaway Jury was my first big feature, and we were
I
shooting,
like that movie.
we were shooting for the second time in the French Quarter, reshoots.
Oh, you had to go back, eh?
If you want a smaller scale version of what Times Square shooting is like, you can go do the French Quarter.
Yeah.
So I just remember I was so tired. It was like 16 hours into that day or whatever. And another PA crossed by my lockup, and he goes, $100 day. And I just remember going, oh yeah, the OT, $100, cool. And back then I was day playing, meaning I'm not full time on a show, and I'm day playing as a set PA. On the days I'm not on set as a PA, I was coming in as a background extra on Runaway Jury. And on days that I wasn't doing either one of those things, I was delivering pizza for Italian Pie. Shout out to Italian Pie.
They've been around. That's 20 years ago, huh?
Delivery driver's noble profession.
Heck yeah. You had paper maps back then.
Yeah, that's predating Yahoo Maps. Because you didn't have time to go like print out your map
You had
to go
that
to.
atlas book.
Yeah,
with
you
the
just had to
spine,
know it.
The ring spine.
And after taxes, to Chris's point, I think I was barely clearing $600, and it was like 80-something hour weeks.
Yeah.
And you just want to cry, and you're like, I'm gonna go back to school and not major in theater or history.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did. But
But there's a beauty to paying your dues, right? I mean, is that
Yes.
there's the undercurrent of the romance of the whole thing?
All right. Here's the thing. I know you guys have your Grandpa Simpson.
Yeah.
I
Here's
started
my cane.
50 years ago
In
when
my
they
day-
gave me a penny.
back then we called the nickels bees. 5 bees for a quarter, we'd say.
I started 3 years ago, and I will say that the pay was probably $12 an hour. I think the most I made it as a PA was like $15 an hour.
Sure.
So
Hour rate. Oh,
yeah, I mean, I break everything down.
I see.
Hourly.
Yeah.
So whatever
they
the
give it to
day,
you.
the whole over 12 thing, just always has kind of been like, okay, well, I'm gonna break this down myself and see how much I make an hour. And that's pretty much how much it was. And I talked to other PAs too that they're making more. And I'm not saying that they're making a fool's ransom and it's some like career and they, you know what I mean? It is definitely still entry level.
Yeah.
It is not enough money.
It's not a livable wage.
But definitely, no more of these $90 days or $100 or $150, man. I don't think any PA is making less than $12 an hour now.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have started PAing a few years ago if it was less. If it was less than 12, I think
You'd have
as
just
an
said, "Forget
adult
it."
woman, I'd have been like, no, what the
yeah.
hell are you talking about? But that's like, okay, sure, I can shop around departments, see, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'll do it. Well, what else am I doing? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And I mean, like,
just to shed light on the 2001 versus
Things have changed.
2020 when
Yeah.
I started.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, like, and I do agree with paying your dues,
Dues.
but I mean,
Quote unquote.
I also think that financially it should be more as a PA. You should be able to walk with about $200 a day to be able to pay bills. I mean, there's a lot of people that have their bills are too high to literally be a PA.
Yes.
And that's no good. But I mean, like, I remember, and I mean, like, I was so frustrated with this. There was, when you're working a bunch and you have the work dreams, they're pretty much awful because it's like, I can't even escape work when I'm sleeping for the 4 hours that I get to sleep.
In your head.
But I remember having this dream, and it was a UPM talking to me, and this was when I was a PA, and I'm just in the throes of all of it. And he's like, okay, so hey, guy, we're not going to pay you in money, but we are going to pay you in peanuts. But we're going to give you like 500 pounds of peanuts. And then from that point, you can sell them on the black market, or you could you could package them and sell them.
They're your peanuts.
It's literally $500 worth of peanuts, but we're going to give you peanuts.
Yeah.
And then you figure it out. And like, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Was that I was being paid peanuts to do all of this work, and it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
I did not like it.
Yeah.
And Justin, you came in not from a PA world. You kind of segued over, right?
That's right, yeah. Most sound people come from the music world. So that's where I came from, working in music studios and doing a little bit of live sound reinforcement and things like that. So I did go to film school with the intent of doing sound for film. So I did have that goal when I was younger. So as soon as I graduated from college, I was looking for a job. I didn't really know anybody besides the people that I went to school with, working in the industry. So searching the internet for jobs, things like that, I found something that was sound related, and it was on a website called Mandy.com. I don't know if anybody remembers.
Yeah, okay.
He loves Mandy.
Yeah.
Mandy.com.
Yeah.
Wait, was
Very
that the one that listed
disappointed when I went to that
productions and
website.
stuff?
Yeah, it was a production website.
And
where
it
go.
you had where the offices were and shit. So you
Exactly.
could go
Yeah,
in there and slap your resume on the desk.
Totally
Yeah.
different from Ashley Madison, Joe. It's not the same one.
Okay, got it. Huh? Shit.
Yeah.
Unnoted.
Yeah, Mandy.com, and then you can, they post jobs and production related jobs and things like that.
Yeah.
So, but it was a company that was based out of New York that had posted, and it was one sentence, and it just said, looking for someone that knows QuickBooks and can solder. And that was it. Please fax your resume to this number here. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
You can solder.
Yeah, I did know how to solder. I didn't know QuickBooks, but I figured that was something that I can learn pretty easily. So, yeah.
QuickBooks, Excel,
Yeah.
Microsoft Office,
Yeah.
Bib.
You bring up a good point too. A lot of ads that are kind of entry level related, the scams look the same as the legit ones a lot of times. So it's really hard to navigate that if you are trying to get your foot in the door.
Yeah, especially those one sentence ones. It's very vague.
Yeah.
Right.
One word spelt wrong, or like the first letter swapped with the second one. You're like,
Right.
didn't bother to fix that at all.
Yeah.
Just
Was in a hurry.
I can tell you right now that Craigslist gigs ad for male model was not a male model ad. Just to be clear,
It was a props gig.
it was a props gig. Yeah.
Classic story.
They needed an articulated dummy that they couldn't afford, so they had me.
that can also solder.
Yeah.
No, it's QuickBooks.
Yeah, those QuickBooks.
Nice.
So that company was the local vendor for sound equipment for productions. I started working for them. And through that, I started day playing here and there, but I did always work in the sound department, and I was able to skip the PA side of things.
Good for you.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Yeah.
I think if you can skip the PA thing and you're not somehow related to camera, then you're probably still a good person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those rascals
Yeah.
think they're so
Because
great.
for everyone that has been a PA and had to deal with some prick that graduated from AFI and went straight to DP, then you will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What the hell is AFI?
The American Film Institute. It's a very renowned place.
What are you specifically talking about? That was
You may have
in
heard
the
of their
band.
top 100 because for some reason they dictate the best
Yeah, for
100
some reason,
movies.
Yeah. And they
Yeah,
they haven't
sure.
changed it in 75 years.
I heard of
I
that
think they
old
changed
thing.
every now and then.
Oh, did they really?
AFI,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Assholes, fucks, and infidels.
Right.
Inside.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. These, whatever. So one last question I'm going to throw to Zoe, and then we'll work to get out of this. Talk a little bit about what got you to make your segue from PA to props.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, I will say when I first moved to New Orleans, I wanted to be in film. I wanted to be in the art department. I had a couple of opportunities. I had a friend that was on-set painter, and he offered me a couple additional days, but I had a full-time job. It was really hard to get out of work to do that. So it was kind of always, the art department was always kind of...
Crossfade was so tough.
Yeah, you have a full-time
Yep.
gig. You can't just say, hey, I need a day off, especially with like retail, food and bev. It's tricky. So things fell through the cracks. So art department was always kind of something that made sense for me. And then starting film, starting PAing, there was a second there I thought I would AD.
Yeah.
I thought I would AD. I looked at it and I was like, all right, I'm smart-ish. I'm cool-ish. Lady. I have lady parts, which is good. See a lot of dudes doing this. So even if I do kind of suck, I probably will stand out. You know. So I did seriously think about it. And then I looked around at you.
So much sadness behind the glasses.
Well, you know,
Chris was doing the Keanu Reeves on the park bench with the sandwich.
Well, yeah, Chris actually did have a conversation with me, and you know, you told me like, "Hey, man, don't."
You don't want this,
and not even you don't want this, but don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Look around, and don't think that this is just the thing that you have to do because you're PAing. Like there are things to shop around for, which I had that conversation a couple times with different ADs that I'd met, and at first it kind of annoyed me. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you want me to be an AD?
Because they all said the same similar thing.
Everyone said the same thing. Shop around.
Because I feel like I would say that too. I feel like I have said that too.
I say that now.
Yeah.
I say that now. Don't. You know what I mean? I get it. I really do get it. But I was like,
don't lock in until you're locked in.
Yeah, like what do you want? And then I was like, oh, you're sad. I get it.
Yeah.
Frankly, I got tired of doing the same thing as a PA. I kept on being hired as first team because you know what they say, don't be too good at a job. And
oh yeah.
And I told you know, this second that kept on hiring me, I told them like, hey man, I don't want to do first team no more. Like,
let me out.
You were getting the TV first team, and not to knock all TV actors or anything, but it's definitely a different breed.
It is
film actors.
And I will say, when I stopped PAing, it was actually with the best cast I'd ever worked with. Coolest dudes, nicest people. We vibed. They were homies. They were friends. Not divas. It was cool. I was just kind of, it's like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore.
Cool or not, that's like, her first team is you're herding kittens in a box.
Exactly. That's what John DiMaggio said to me was, it's like herding kittens. Yeah, you're right, man.
You know, shout out to Eric Hayes, former first AD.
Uncle.
I used to like when he would say, so what's the story? Where's first team? And they're like, come to set. And it's like maybe the fifth time he's asked where they are. And he would always say, come to set like a herd of turtles.
Yep.
Yes.
Herd of turtles.
And then pitter patter little feet.
Yeah, pitter patter little feet.
Pitter patter little feet. Come on, let's hear it. Pitter patter little after feet.
But anyway, I made
this is what we hear on the radio that
switch,
no one else hears normally.
I made the switch to props in the middle of a show. I decided, I was like, I can't do this. I think at that point I was pretty burnt out too. I'd done a lot of gigs back to back. No breaks, no vacation.
All first team PA.
Nothing. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I'm working, man. I think I was the one PA that like saved money because I just didn't.
And again, at those increased hours too.
Yeah.
You know,
you're talking about clinical burnout.
Yeah. So I didn't stop, and I was like, you know what? I don't want PA anymore. I don't want to be an AD. I'm gonna step away. And I told him, I was like, hey, I'm not PAing anymore. But as
So
on my way
did you
out,
make that proclamation first and then go to
yeah. So let me tell you, I there was a second where I was like, maybe I'll do costumes. That makes sense for my resume. I think maybe I can do that. And then I was like, I'm gonna do costumes. So I quit. I was like, hey, this is my last week PA, and I'm not doing this no more. And I even got another job. I was afraid. I was like, no one's gonna hire me.
Yep.
And I reached out to the people in props on that show and was like, hey, I'm not PAing no more. I quit, but if you guys ever need any help, an additional whatever, keep me in mind. And the very next week, they brought me on, and I showed up, and I was their main additional.
And you awkward quit your other job.
Well, I
like,
did
hey
know.
guys, I know
very,
you just finished training me.
and I was honest. I was like,
Right.
I don't want to PA anymore. I don't want to PA anymore.
Oh, I thought you got another day job between. So
No, I got a job on the weekends working at a hat shop because I was like, I don't know, like I don't know if I'm gonna need a little something.
I thought you quit PAing and then had like full-time job for like a week or two, and then you're like,
a month. I stayed there because I felt
Okay.
bad. I was the worst what is it, haberdasher? Horrible. I called everything a fedora. I made fun of people. I was a horrible, bad at selling hats. Really, really bad at
it
it.
fits you perfect. It's like a thimble.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think of this? It looks bad.
You gotta-
It looks dumb and bad.
You got one of the roundest heads I've ever seen. You need a bowler.
Yeah,
Bowler for this guy.
But you did sell the most sombreros ever
Yeah.
during that month. What do you think I would look good in? Sombrero.
This probably.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Something wide.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
shade.
So sold hats while I was starting in props on a show that was, it was all overnight. It's a vampire show, man. So
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what am I
Good
doing?
night work. We'll get into that on another episode.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And that was my move.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
old props.
Good move.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm going to cut us there. And so what you're hearing from us today is what we're going to be doing when we get to our normal format. We're going to have a special guest every episode, talk about a specific department, specific position, and that person's background and everything. In the meantime, we're also going to do a couple of topical episodes, kind of kick things off and get things going. So stay tuned for a deep dive on the craziness that was the movie production of Rust, and also a breakdown of this whole strike mess that is still going on at the time of this recording. And then after that, we'll get into our standard format and all that. Moving forward, I'll also kind of put out a little disclaimer that there will be some combination of us. Maybe we won't all always be here because we are all active employees. So when there's not a strike,
Hope to be.
yeah, one day when we all go back to work like normal people, well, it's never normal people, but
Yeah, right.
But anyway, so you'll always get some combo of us, if not all of us. And so with that, I will say, if you like what we're doing here, if you have thoughts, comments, questions, urges to maybe stalk us once we have some online business going on, well, you can find us. Email, it is the filmfolklorepodcast@gmail.com. No spaces, no underscores. And then we're going to be online, social, all that, but I'm not going to even give it out yet because it's our first episode. So, well, what have I even posted? So we'll get to that on future episodes. And with that, maybe Joe or Chris, do you want to take us out?
Bye. We'll see you later, guys. Promise.
Well done.
Thank you. I've been working on that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Rehearse that 100 times.
Okay. Good job, everybody.
Dude, I just realized I still have the Mandy.com into like my Hotmail account that I checked like 3 times because is it